Hello everybody, welcome to Bass and Bonsai. This is how you do it. Big, giant, largemouth bass. And oh yes, she's a kisser. Hello everybody, welcome to the show. Today, oh yeah, we're having a shootout. Not a real shootout, but a rod shootout. These are the 3 Kuying Tetons. Okay, they make more, but these are your 3 basic models, and I've got them out of order here. But I just picked up the bottom one with the reel on it. That is the super ultralight. It's a 5'2", 2-piece SUL, super ultralight. The middle one is the one I've had the longest. That's a 6'3" UL ultralight. And then the top one, of course, I picked up this year, and I love that one. That's a 6'6" light. That is an awesome rod, but so is the middle one, and we're going to find out if that bottom one is. Now, the most common one they make the 6'6" in a 2-piece, but it's still a light, same ratings. They also make the 6'3" they're ultralight in a 6-foot, but it's basically, the ratings say the same, so it should pretty much do the same thing. And then they have the super ultralight. Now they make a shorter rod in the Kuying Tetons, but it's only 5 foot, and it's the one, it's got a little different handle, and it is a 2-piece basically, but it's a 1-piece blank that clips, you pop it into the rod itself, those style. And it's actually, I think, an ultralight too, so it would be pretty much like what you have in a 6'3" too. So I've pretty much covered all the bases, and that's why I wanted this one, the super ultralight. If you can make it out, this thing definitely, and it's a Kuying Teton, so it should not snap. But it should cast this 16th ounce crappie jig, which is this about the smallest thing I throw for bass or crappie, is that dude right there. So what we're doing today is I'm going to throw it first. I'll show you what I'm going to do. Right here, I'm going to stand. I've already got a little place, and I've made a few casts with this. I don't know if you can make it out. Way out there is 50 foot. There's a little pile of leaves that stick out further than anything else. So I'll go show you real quick. Alright, so that, where I was standing, is roughly 50 foot. That's just me counting it off these big old boots, which are probably over 12 inches. So now I'm standing right here. And I've already made some casts, and that's about as far as this will go. But what we're doing today is I'm going to throw 16th ounce first with this. I'm going to throw an 1/8 ounce also with this combo. Then we're going to do the same thing with the other 2 Kuying Tetons. This one should dominate the 16th ounce. But we also want to see if, this is going to be the one, if you're say you're throwing an 1/8 ounce crappie jig or something a little heavier. Will this cast further, easier, or actually do the other Kuying Tetons come up into play? That way, help you guys out. If you don't own any Kuying Tetons, want to get one, what kind you might want. Now, we got a lot of wind, so we almost hit it. We got a lot of wind. We almost hit 50 foot. So you probably can't make it out, but I almost hit that point, and the wind is dying out. Let me try one more. Okay, so no wind. I went about 1.5 foot past it. So this will go easily 50 feet in the wind or not. 16th ounce. Let's put an 1/8 ounce. All right, I'm back. That is an 1/8 ounce jig with the trailer, so it's probably a little over an 1/8, but we're going to see, say how far I can get with this thing. That should throw this a lot further. So yeah, we're easily probably 10 foot past the leaf pile, so about 60 feet. I'm going to walk that one off and show you. I walked that off from the leaf pile as another 16 feet. So that one would be 66 feet is what it'll throw an 1/8 ounce crappie jig. And about the same mark. Okay, so I'm going to call that good enough. That's, you know, say roughly another 15 foot farther than it will 16th ounce. And, you know, maybe more with the wind or not. So now I know what you guys are thinking, you know, okay, it'll throw crappie jigs. We knew that. It's a super ultralight. How big can we throw? Can we throw, you know, the 1/4 ounce poppers, the Pop Max, or the Pop X? Let's find out. So since I'm not throwing my Pop X, I will throw one of these cheap eBay ones. I'm trying to, hopefully it won't stick in the grass too much. I'm leaving the hooks tied up. But this is probably my favorite thing, that size popper, which is about 1/4 ounce on the 6'3" ultralight. You guys see me all throughout this summer, early spring, and even into the fall throwing it on this reel with the 6'3" 2-piece Kuying Teton. So let's see if this thing will throw it without snapping the rod in half. What do you guys think? Whoa, wind caught that sucker. You can see the wind's like, but it threw it just fine. The wind's catching it pretty good. It's hard to tell, but it's windy. And it's going about 65 feet. Okay, I put a little more on, probably close to 70 feet. One more. So yeah, about 65, 67 feet. That's about as far. It wants to throw this about as far as it can, the 1/8 ounce crappie jig. So this thing kind of maxes out. It's only 5'2". It's not a real long distance, pretty limber. So let's try the 16th ounce. Let's try all these baits on, we'll go with the next one up, okay? 6'3" ultralight. Okay, now this baby feels right back at home on this setup. This is what I pretty much used for all my topwater and some other, well, crappie and other stuff. So we got the 16th ounce on. And I'm just gonna go out and say that I believe this may not get quite the distance with the 16th, but I think when we switch to the 1/8 ounce crappie jig and that popper, it's gonna go further than that 5'2". So let's just find out. There's only one way to find out. Well, it actually got just as far. One more try. Okay, it actually is hitting just within, I mean within like not even a foot of where the 5'2". So I'm actually impressed with this one over this one. That's what I was thinking when I ordered this. Now it'll be more fun to fight them on this little dude, you know, when I just crappie only. But as far as what it'll throw, the 16th ounce, you know, or these 16th ounce jigs with the shaky head or something, this isn't going to be the one. This is strictly for crappie, but I can already tell you right now, this is the rod I'd recommend for like light Ned rigs and stuff like that, or even the crappies down to 16th ounce or 1/8 ounce. But let's try it. Let's see what the 1/8 does. I almost bet this thing should go over 66 feet. So yeah, first cast was easily the 66 feet. Remember that we did with the 5'2". about a foot past it, so it's real close. They're real close. That's what I was going to say. It says super ultralight, and the rod itself flexes more, but it's so short, and it's not really that much lighter than the ultralight. So yeah, this rod is almost on par with 16th ounce, and it'll go about a foot or two further with the 8th ounce. So that's roughly kind of what I was thinking after filling them. Just so we'll know though, I think this thing will zing the popper like way further out. So let's try the popper. I think it'll go way past 65 feet. I don't know, I may be wrong. So yeah, about probably close to 70 feet. Yeah, I don't need to throw it anymore. It's getting about 70 foot or so, so it's about 5 foot further than what we did with the 5'2". Now we'll switch to the 661. I'm curious to see how far it'll throw the 16th ounce, to tell you the truth. It should throw the other baits as far or farther than these others, because it's just a little bit longer rod. All right, boys and girls, final rod in this shootout. This is the 661, my personal favorite overall of all the Kuying Tetons, but I still like the 6'3" for those little topwater poppers. Man, that's an excellent. But you know, for the other stuff, you see me throwing this guy right here, but we're gonna see 16th ounce crappie jig. It'll throw the 8th pretty good. I've been throwing that, but the 16th I've left for the 6'3" too. So let's just see what we got. About the same exact distance. So yeah, right at that leaf pile, which is actually surprising to me. So yeah, this right here, that 661 is the real deal. Now the only downside to it is, especially if you're out crappie fishing, that's a pretty stout rod for crappie. I mean, you know, slab size, hand size, I mean, it'll put up a little fight, but nothing like the 6'3". If you're out purely wanting a rod for fun, the 6'3" too for crappie. But if you're wanting a rod for bass, you know, pretty much bass only, just to be able to throw that lightweight stuff like a 16th ounce, you know, shaky head, Ned rig, which I highly recommend. That's what I mainly use my BFS stuff for. And you can get it in the 6.62 light, but the 6.61 is going to be more sensitive. Most of you guys here in the U.S., you probably want a one piece, and it's just under 100, right at 100. You got a $100 bill, you'll get a little change back. Put it to you that way. Now this is the 1/8. So yeah, we went a couple foot past the 66 marker. I got a little stick sticking up, so it'll outcast every bait. Yeah, consistently right at the stick or just a hair past it. And I hadn't really compared these side by side. You know, I've had, you know, my ideas of what I thought it would do. All right. It flat zings the 1/4 ounce popper. It really gets the casting. And if you guys haven't, go back and look. If you want to wonder, you know, what are the ranges of some of these? Not saying you want to, The 661 Kuying Teton, I threw the big Whopper Plopper 130. No problem. I mean, it'll cast it. You just, you rear back and it loads the rod up. Trust me, you're rearing back and that rod's doing this, but it'll zing it out, does not snap. These are stout rods. Not stout rods, I keep using the word stout because they're actually fairly soft. You see how that's got a tip and then it loads up, but then these are strong rods. These are ugly stick type strong rods. I'm not saying you can't break them, don't quote me on that, but you can break anything, but they should not break on you. They should hold up and work real well. So hopefully you like that video. I'm actually surprised this can throw that 16th ounce as good, if not a little better than those other rods. I thought for sure that 632 ultralight would have it beat there. But I mean, I'm going to keep this one. That's why I got it for crappie. If you're just wanting if you're wanting a rod, BFS rod that's going to make fishing fun with the little one, from the little bitty panfish to pan size eater crappie or half-pound, pound bass, I wouldn't be afraid to try to fight a 4-pounder on this. I'm not going to boat flip it, but these Kuying Tetons, I'm not going to bend it in half, but just to show you, they're stout rods. I keep saying that word stout. They're not stout rods. They're strong. They're tough. They're tough rods. That's the word I need to use. They're tough. They got a lot. This one's got a ton of give. It bends way back into here, which I don't really like that bend. It's where it's a 2-piece and then it bends more here. But I mean, for the money, I want to say it was more expensive. It was like 60 bucks because it's super ultralight. But if you look at this tip, I guess I should show you that with all these. I'll try to hold it up on my tip of my boot to get it close to this one. See how soft that is? That 6'3" is not, get it on my freaking boot, is not much harder. I mean, that's why the 6'3" will actually cast as good, if not better. That's not much softer than that is. That's a soft tip that then gets a little strong but has a lot of flex. And that's another reason why this thing, let me get that bait out of the way, you guys can make it out. That's another reason why this thing, see how that's a soft tip and it stays soft way down into here. But that's what lets them cast those lightweight baits real well. Then when you're dealing with braid, the sensitivity, I use this one for some bottom stuff and I don't feel like I'm missing any bites with it. But that is it on the Kuying Tetons. I hope you guys liked that video. Now Kuying themselves make a lot of different stuff, reels, rods, but the Kuying Teton series, there's really only the big, the light, there's the ultralight, which comes in different lengths, but then the super ultralight. Now they make all these in spinning rods also, but for BFS guys, that's about the choice you have in the Kuying Tetons. The ultralight comes in a 5-foot, which is like a 2-piece, one solid blank that I call it plugged into the handle. The 6-foot 2-piece, and I think that's it. And then the 661 or the 662 light, and that's about your options on the Kuying Tetons. But I would recommend you guys, if you don't have, whether you don't have any BFS rods or you have some but you haven't tried the Kuyings, I would at least recommend trying one. The 2 pieces are so cheap, 55, 65 bucks. Get one that you shouldn't be able to destroy it that easily. If I had to pick one strictly for pound fish, 16th ounce baits, maybe a touch smaller, I'd go for the 632. If I was purely only going for the littlest fish in anywhere, or like the trout guys, but not really so much for bass, I would not recommend this for guys wanting something for bass. I'm going to use it for a crappie rod. That's why I got it to try. I thought maybe I might want to use it for something. I can't think of anything I want to use it for bass. Now if I accidentally catch a bass on a crappie jig, that's fine, but I wouldn't want to try to set the hook and plan on setting the hook on a bigger 16th ounce, shaky head jig. It's just not enough backbone. This one, you could maybe get away with it. and I use it for the Ned rig, like the net, you know, those Ned rigs when the hook's exposed. But we also throw the Ned rig with the, you know, with the 16th ounce shaky head jig. Just rigged the Ned rig, Texas rig. Roland Martin, I actually saw him on YouTube. I had it on the TV, talking about that today, how about 25-30 years ago, him and, you know, he was using the old Cincos or whatever, cutting them down, and, you know, now they call it the Ned rig, which I knew it wasn't anything new, you know, but they just put a name on it. Same thing with Bait Finesse. Daiwa is probably, I would say, the first one. Shimano was right behind them as far as they just started making the shallower spools, more of a finesse presentations for the guys that didn't want to use spinning gear. But anyway, if you want one, the all-around that here's one I recommend it, no matter if you have high dollar, the Mega Bass Shading X's and those kind of ones that you're using for BFS, I recommend at least buying this and trying. If you don't like it, I'm sure you know somebody else that, you know, would love to have a $100 rod for a lightweight stuff. For those of you guys that like the high dollar stuff. For those of you that are on a budget and are, you know, been questioning, just want one BFS rod, get this one. You just saw me throw 16th ounce crappie jig, 8th ounce crappie jig, 1/4 ounce baits. If you go back and look at the videos, you can watch me fling a huge whopper plopper with it. Now, you wouldn't want to throw, you know, I could probably throw chatterbait, and you've seen me throw spinner baits too. Like, I've thrown 1/2 ounce spinner baits, but it's almost a little, I'm kind of worried about setting hook, but I haven't really missed too many fish on anything I've used with this rod. I love this rod. I put the handle on it. It may look a little weird. It comes with a split grip, but I'm going to probably also redo that handle again because I did it for the balance and I didn't like the split grip, but look at that crazy balance. Like, this rod, you can't get more balance when I put that grip on. It had was a touch tip heavy with the split grip, but it is awesome now. All right, guys, I don't know how long this video is going to end up being, but like, this part was 10 minutes and I just do a lot of talking. What can I say? The Lord gave me the gift of gab. So get out of here, go bass and bonsai for yourself, and thank you very much for watching. And you wonder why I'm wearing this? I got all dressed up, nowhere to go, and you know what I say, I can't let all this good looking go to waste. Thanks for watching. I'm going in the house. My hands are getting cold. It's a little chilly out here. Oh yes it is. Exactly how we do it. Big largemouth bass. Let's see if it'll jump. That is a beauty. We're gonna jump. Yeah! Woo!